it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and today we are taking the McLaren to Cars and Coffee. We went a month or so ago, and a few people were upset that we tried racing a Hellcat and like a Mustang with a McLaren, and I feel like some people are deaf or just don't pay attention, but the car was in limp mode, which is why I thought it would be a fair race. Today it is no longer in limp mode, so we're not racing no regular traffic. We're gonna try to have some fun with some cars along the way, see if anyone's down just to play around, have some fun. But yes, today we'll be taking the McLaren. I already watched it, so we're just gonna wait for Jake, and then we'll pull this out and go link up with Eric and a few other people, and we'll just mob there, pull up, see what kind of cars are there, have fun, chill, relax, and then we'll be on our way. I was debating on taking the R1 today, but it's a little cold. Temperature is about 50 degrees right now, and it's about a good hour of riding, so not really feeling like that. Also, I want my chin mount before I do that, so definitely will be, but for now we'll have to settle for the McLaren. So anyways, let's go. So after getting to Cars and Coffee and linking up with the boys, we found this clean R32 with an RB26 single turbo. Looks like he stole the titanium right off of the Supra, although the Supra's is, well, it's a little charred now. Anyways, this was honestly one of the cars that was just in contention with the Supra. I was going back and forth between the R32 of this similar spec and the Supra. I'm happy I got the Supra, but, you know, his R32 do be really clean, though, and it isn't on fire, so that's great. Nearby to the R32 was its cousin. We got an S14 kooky right here. Nissan 350Z wheels do have really good offset apparently for these S14s. The color, immaculate. He needs to finish the rest of the car. Looks like he might have got a little wall tap, but definitely a very clean project nevertheless. So far, it was looking to be a really good start to this Cars and Coffee day. We found this Mark V Supra. Underneath the hood, I was having trouble seeing if it was the little four-banger or if it was the true six-cylinder. Hard to tell. Either way, though, it looked like he had some Advan wheels. Unless I'm tripping, I can't see on my tiny screen right now. The wrap was pretty out there. It looked like it was pretty ready for the track. He had a really extra-looking steering wheel with all sorts of buttons, more buttons than an Xbox controller. But the car, I mean, from what I saw underneath the hood, it looked pretty stock. It looks like we got an exhaust on it, which is good. We got tow availabilities, which is good. We got a nice wheel and tire spec package. But like I said, I was really looking underneath the hood, and I could not see a whole lot of what was going on. Let me know if I'm missing something here. But regardless, a Mark V on a track is going to kick some ass. Anyways, it seems like Dodge gave me a call on my day off and wanted me to just go ahead and make sure these warranties are still in place on these Hellcats. Yep, warranty looks like it's still in place. No aftermarket parts there. This guy popped his hood next to a couple Hellcats. What a brave soul. Don't know why you would do that personally, but it looks like he went ahead and lathered it up, oiled that up real nice for me. Thanks for oiling it up. Next to him, though, another warranty in place on this Hellcat. If I had to pick out of the three, though, I'm taking the wide body Challenger. That is a sick color, personally, the best of the three. Anyways, nearby was this bagged 340i, very clean. I didn't know the guy was in the car. I was filming it, and he went ahead and aired up for me, and it sounded really cool. I'll let you guys listen to it, but I love the stance that he got on it. Not too overkill. It's perfect. Now, I know we saw some Hellcats, but this was the old school Hellcat right here. This was the wah-wah baby whining machine that everybody wanted back in the day. This was literally the Camaro killer. It put that bitch into retirement. And that's because you don't mess with the Mustang Cobra. If I could pick, honestly, a Mustang to throw into my arsenal, it would be a pretty close contention between the Cobra and the GT350. Both of those are just on the top of my bucket list. I need to get one of them here pretty soon, but I need to make room, so got to finish up the Honda, which do be running, and get rid of it eventually. Need to make content with it first. Anyways, a car that I know somebody paid way too much for is this Bronco Raptor. I went to a couple dealerships, and I was looking at Broncos before I bought my GMC, and they were marked up the ass. The Raptors on the lot, in this one dealership in particular, $50,000 markup. I really hope they didn't bend this guy over and just pound him raw. At least lube him up. Give him like a $15,000 markup. Hell no on the 50. That was insane. But regardless, Raptor, Bronco, cool. Haven't seen one up close. I kind of like it, although the wide body flares do seem kind of cheap. Okay, now this car looks like it was customized by two different people. Two people with very different ideals of what a car should look like. Underneath the hood, you see a big-ass Whipple. You see some nice valve covers. It looks like he did something, you know, pretty good underneath the hood. That's where I think the smart guy was when it came to modifying this car. Go to the rear now. What in fucking tarnation is this Wish.com bullshit that I'm seeing right here? We got the ugliest looking window louvers and a chinky ass wing. It's just all bad. I have no idea what the guy's thought process was. Also tying it together with some vortex generators and a Corvette badge on the roof. I've never noticed one on the roof. I don't know if they're actually there, but I highly doubt it. That shit looked out of place. The Whipple, though, very nice. Nearby was this definitely also overpriced Shelby truck. I think it's an aggressive looking truck. Don't get me wrong. I really do love how it looks, but when it comes to truck practicality, this is one thing that I keep going back and forth with on myself. I really do want to get like a fun truck that I can just destroy people with on the street. But at the same time, the whole reason why I bought a truck was to have a nice, reliable daily. And that would kind of defeat the purpose. An 800 horsepower Shelby truck, although very baller in the lineup, it just wouldn't personally fit me. I do see the appeal, though. It is a very sick looking truck. I do like what they did with it. It's badass, and not only does it look good, it's got good performance. You know what else has good performance? A Dodge Demon 170. Like I said, this was a very good start to the Cars and Coffee. Dodge Demon 170, haven't seen one yet, and oh my god, this thing, probably the fastest car on the lot. If I had to guess, I didn't see anything else that could probably really contend with it. 1,000+ horsepower from factory. This guy still had the plastic on the screen. This dude knows this thing's going to hold its value. And it wasn't just like a little princess either. I saw his tires up close. Those bitches were being ran, okay? That's some fresh rubber peeling off right there. Dodge Demon 170, even though I'm not a huge Mopar guy, definitely a badass car. Back to what I was saying before, which would you prefer, though? The Cobra Terminator or the Shelby GT350? They're just both so good cars in my book. They're just both amazing for different reasons, but still, I bet both of them are just great driving experiences. Obviously, the GT350 has a little bit more of a modern look and a modern interior, so you're going to have modern luxuries. But the Cobra, though, come on, a little whoop, that just makes anyone smile. This one was probably the most bitchin' GT350 on the lot. I like the track spec aero and the track spec vents he put on it. Super badass. Definitely gets down on the track. Close to him was this Paxton supercharged S197. And there's no contention. This is the best looking Mustang, best generation out there. The later S197 is absolutely my favorite looking Mustang. If I could find a decent shell, I would not be opposed to tossing all of my parts into it. But I do like my body style as well. It's just this car just looks like the perfect combination of retro and modern at the same time. And this car, still being 10 years old, looks great. Nearby was this R35 GTR with its hood up. So of course we had to do a hood check. I saw blow-off valves and some charge pipes. Couldn't tell a whole lot of what else was going on. I'm not a huge GTR guy, but when I saw a couple curved wheels and some okay looking tires, it might be quick, it might not. Regardless, it's an R35. It's still putting a lot of cars to shame. It's definitely a supercar killer, whether you like it or not. Is it a supercar, though? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, this right here is a special car. This is the car of Streetcar Scene. If you guys don't know who that is, he is the person who supplies clips for the Fast or Furious races that I post. People submit races to him, very high quality races, good matchups, and we break them down and see who we think is going to win. This is his EVO8 right here. So not only does he talk the talk, but he definitely walks the walk. He told me he's got an EVO9 stock turbo. Nothing super crazy yet, but definitely a good foundation. I'm excited to see what he does with it. This has to be one of the cleanest NA Miatas ever. It might make up for all the clapped out ones that I see on TikTok that absolutely destroyed this car's image in my head. It looked like it had a little supercharger on it, a very tight setup definitely underneath the hood. He had R888s all the way around, a little bit of wide body flares, a carbon fiber hardtop, straight up flexing on everyone, harnesses, and all of the race little doohickeys that you would want. And look at that, a perfectly placed fire extinguisher, something that he can actually reach if needed. Looks like he tracks the car, and I bet this thing upsets a lot of people on the track. Now, I got to know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this wrap? Neon pink with stars sprinkled throughout it like a fucking cupcake. I don't know if that was real forged carbon on the hood. Not 100% sure about that. It did have a nice carbon wing, which is sweet. But what do you guys think? Base model C8 with this kind of wrap? Hot or not? Not often do I look at the classics. I do like them, but they're always just kind of in my opinion. You see one, you see them all, but not an LT4 swapped Camaro. This right here is absolute goals. If I could build a Camaro, I would, if I had unlimited money, I would probably build something like this. This is kind of ideal right here. You got modern day performance with the retro body styling. Absolute fire. 10 out of 10 build. I've constantly contemplated on switching out my front bumper for the GT500 front bumper just because my bumper has taken so much damage and they don't sell it anymore. I've debated over and over. I don't think I will. My bumper's actually being repaired and painted right now. However, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Back to this GT500 though, what do you guys think of these rear window louvers? They're not quite the Eleanor louvers that I have because they don't just flow throughout the whole louver. These are just like little parachutes sticking off the side, and they also look way too big. They look kind of goofy in my opinion. Not a huge fan of these. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Still though, you never really see these S197 GT500s. Can someone spot the difference between this guy's setup and my Supra setup? Go ahead and place your bets down below. Yeah, his isn't on fire. Yeah, that's what happens when your stuff is, you know, assembled correctly or whatever. I am actually ordering the parts to get my shit back up and running here pretty soon, so don't worry. I know a lot of people saw me pick up the R1 and just assumed I got rid of the Supra. I still have the Supra. It ain't going anywhere. Don't worry about that. I'm rebuilding it. This guy's setup is absolute goals. That's the second time I've said goals, and I can no longer say it for the rest of this video. Speaking of Supras, just because we can't look at mine, we'll go take a look at another one. And this one also looks like a very solid setup. I really do like the Powerhouse Racing style like valve covers. I'm not sure if this one had it, but the other one definitely seemed to have it. Giant single turbo setup. Nice tire. The Sirikawa and the anime stickers are a little questionable, but it's his car. He can do what he wants with it at the end of the day. Who cares? Regardless, though, a Mark IV Supra just absolutely guaranteed to clap people's cheeks on the freeway. Now, unless I have early set dementia or something like that, I don't think I've ever seen a Plymouth Roadrunner in person. And this is a spectacle to be seen in person. This thing is absolutely insane looking. It looks like somebody took a race car and just made it for the street. Obviously an old school race car, but still, like, look at that goddamn wing. What an absolute ricer, bro. Come on, man. You took inspiration from Fast and the Furious? What a clown. Regardless, though, obviously a joke. Very, very cool to see one of these. Seeing one of these in person was absolutely a dream come. I'm just going to let you guys listen to this Diablo leave. Take a listen. Now, I know you guys are thinking I'm getting ready to shoot all 10 rounds in my California legal clip at this stance car, but I'm not. Because guess what? It's not clapped out. It's a stance car. I can appreciate when somebody builds a car for their liking and they do it clean. And it's not all clapped out. And this happens to be one of those cases right here. His rim was right up to the fender. And by rim, I mean the edge of the wheel. I'm not a fucking idiot here. But I'm saying the rim of his wheel was right up to his fender perfectly. And it just had a great stance to it. However, on the contrary, next to him, this IS300 didn't seem to get that memo. And it's a little bit more of a bulldog stance. The offset's a little bit more out there. So I'm not going around giving everybody a participation award. I think that you got to look at your buddy's build or your rear setup and just get a little bit closer to that. A little bit more of a tuck look would definitely fix the front. Still, though, not bad. Anyways, if you ever want to steal an Audi's catalytic converter, good fucking luck. It's underneath the hood. I mean, I guess you could pry open the hood, but it's not worth it at that point. It do be a big catalytic converter, though. It's really hard to tell what the hell's going on. Jake and I were sitting here stroking our shit for a minute trying to figure it out. And we were thinking about stealing his computer. However, we obviously did not. He would not be able to get home, and that wouldn't be very nice of us. All jokes aside, though, very clean car. Super fun, I would imagine. Definitely looks like a pain in the ass to work on, depending on what you're doing. But that's just what happens when you want a German performance car. Anyways, have you guys ever seen something like this? A Ford effing Ranger with like a Raptor kit on it? It looks pretty mean. I'm not going to lie. Dude's obviously a pavement princess. I mean, look how clean his truck is. How are you going to have a truck like that and have it be so clean? You got to pull up with mud, brother. You got to pull up with mud. You got tire shine on those little sissy wheels? Come on, man. You can't be doing that. Anyways, it's pretty embarrassing when the actual F-150 looks wimpier than the fucking Ford Ranger. But that Ford Ranger was kick-ass, though. All jokes aside. Anyways, we saw this hood popped on this Subaru BRZ, and of course, we got to do a hood check. He got a little turbo going on that bad boy. He do got some camber, so he's got a little bit of performance. He's got a little bit of style, too. Got to respect it. Not too much camber, especially for the probably 200-wheel horsepower he's now putting to the ground. Definitely not too much camber. He's also got a clean little tucked look. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is it worth boosting these cars? I hear it's not. Dollar per horsepower just ain't there. Dollar per horsepower, however, is there on an LS swapped 240. Now that's straight up some good value, right? We had some gold RPF ones. Don't know if they were real or not. I don't know why anyone would buy fake RPF ones, but it do happen sometimes. However, it looked like this was a drift car. I could be wrong. I don't see why anyone else would put an LS in a 240 if they weren't going to drift it. The giant wing also kind of threw me off, and I really wish I heard this thing start because I bet it sounded pretty damn good. Anyways, there was another GT350 on the lot. I still think the other one is a little bit cleaner. I don't like the red accents on this one. Even though it might be factory, I'm not 100% sure. It's just not my cup of tea. That duck, though, I want to snatch that duck. You got to let me know where you got that duck. That's a must right there. The car itself, though, still, again, I would still give this thing a solid 9 out of 10 when it comes to GT350s. I mean, you don't really got to do much to make them look clean. But the other one with the track spec vents and everything, oh, just bone apple teeth, 10 out of 10 on that bad boy. Anyways, if you ever feel like you made a bad financial decision, at least you didn't wide body your Model S. Yeah, good luck getting that money back, buddy. You guys see how fast the prices of these Teslas be dropping? It be dropping faster than your grandpa's nuts when he takes off his underwear. Those plummeting down to the earth. Absolutely horrendous. Do not do that.
We'll see. But it was nice meeting you. Hey, we out this shit.
We out this shit. Give me one.